This is another one from your website. I can't determine your position on taxes growth, and so would like a straight, direct, no BS answer to this question, please. That's the question. They would like a straight, direct, no BS answer to what your position on taxes and growth are.
Oh, okay. So my position on taxes is I would like no more taxes. I one of the few that is not signed and don't plan to sign the tax pledge, and that is only because my entire position is that I will not make blanket promises because I don't know what tomorrow will bring. And so if I made a promise that I would absolutely not raise any taxes, then I could be put in a situation where there's an obvious need, and then I couldn't vote for it because I've already pledged that I wouldn't. And that actually happened to our commissioners with that increase in the 911 tax that they were looking at, that would actually fill that need, that they needed more personnel and dispatch. But thankfully the board went against the pledge, and they did pass the increase. They did get everything taken care of that they needed to. But then you come under fires, like what you said you wouldn't. It's like, it was an obvious, common sense answer that we would do this to make that happen. So that's something that I will just not going to do. I'm not going to tell you I'm absolutely going to do one thing or another, because the situation needs to be addressed on a case-by-case basis and weigh the merits and the faults of each issue and come up with a proper solution. And if you are just going to say, I'm against this, then you will never open your eyes and you will never listen to what the other side has to say. So that's not me. I'm the guy that's going to listen, and I'm going to do my best to find the proper answer. What was the other half? That was taxes.
Growth.
Growth. Yes. So I work in the construction industry, so I know that a lot of people are like, well, he's pro-growth, he's pro-growth. They even said that in the GGG forum, is the guy's like, well, I see 3 guys that are for growth and 3 guys that are against growth. And I would say that I am not for growth. I am for proper growth. I'm for growth that makes sense. I'm for growth that is going to fit the needs of Douglas County. We must grow. We're going to grow. There is no way that we can survive if we don't grow. Our tax base is based on an increase in the values of real property being houses, improvements. So you have to understand the tax base. When a house is built, the assessor's office goes through and appraises that house on the replacement cost of that house. And then it's depreciated 1.5% per year based on that value that it would be to replace it. So everybody's value is dropping 1.5% per year. And then it's reappraised at least once every 5 years. It's required by law to be reappraised. And they may raise that replacement cost, but then it goes back and gets depreciated 1.5% per year of the age, all the way up to 75%. So you have, once a house reaches 50 years in age, it's depreciated 75% of the replacement cost. That's not the sales cost. That's how much it would cost you to rebuild that house stick by stick, brick by brick. So if we don't have new construction and new improvements to continue to expand our tax base, we run out of tax dollars. And what does that mean? That means your taxes go up. So without growth, we cannot sustain our tax base. So you have to have it. Now, does that mean I want condos out through our view corridor? No, of course not. That defeats the purpose and defeats the character of Douglas County. We all agree we want to keep that. But part of keeping us rural is growing the right way and managing the infrastructure and doing it right. And part of doing it right is having a view on the future and how is it going to affect the future. And that is where I feel like we've, in the past years, and not just this current, I'm not even talking about the current group of commissioners, but you back up 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when these developments were coming in, we'd take them in and did not have any plan for maintaining the streets because they were brand new streets, and it was just put off to the future. Well, the future's here, and we can't do that anymore. So that's my take on growth.